to really structure it to help really portray what your organization and your firm wants to show your individual clients. So the first part of this demonstration will be from an individual client perspective. Then I'll log off and I'll show you some great things we can do for the advisors. Keep in mind I can't show you everything, but I think you'll get a gist of the power of the application. The application can be completely branded for your firm's icon and color scheme. And I'm on my laptop here. And this can be associated to your website, so a client log in via the website. But we also keep in mind that this demonstration would be identical if you are on a tablet device. Okay, opportunities to have your own icon on any tablet or just popped up. Any excuse me, I'm trying to close my GoToMeeting. There we go. Any tablet or phone device, this would be your firm's icon, as well as there's a great phone experience. It's really the same information, but very device appropriate. So let's jump into the app. Like I said, it's very configurable. We got a pretty popular configuration set up, and I'll try to point out different elements of the configurability as we go through it. But when your clients first log on, they have the opportunity to see things from a portfolio standpoint, so a roll-up of those accounts. And as you can see here on the left-hand side, we have these boxes. We call these boxes headlines. There's over 20 different headlines you guys can turn on or configure. And it's very flexible, and it's really a window into important or pertinent information for your firm. All these headlines are drillable, and I will drill through a couple of these. Right away, you can see we have positional or market value information. Typically, firms will provide us this extract either daily or weekly, and as you can see here, it says as of, and we also have performance. That can be sent up at the same time, like at this demonstration, or maybe on a different cadence, like maybe monthly or quarterly based on your cadence. And if that ever happened, there'd be a nice denotation here saying as of as well. So very flexible in how we can consume information. ModestSpark can also handle things like models. So if you guys have put models defined in ModestSpark and associate them back to the clients, we can also do that as well. And nice visualization as a headline. Do some comparisons throughout the app based on the target versus the model from a year-to-date perspective, as well as more traditional time frames like quarterly, yearly as well. So there's a tremendous amount of flexibility. We support benchmarks as well, and that can be a headline as well and used in the client review area. Well, let's kind of walk through the app here, give you some of the visualizations. So right now, as we look at that portfolio summary, you can see how you are allocated across all your portfolio. You can click. It's not very interesting. Let's try to get one that's maybe a little bit more interesting and see some additional information. Once again, all being defined from your PowerAdvisor portfolio accounting system. We can do the same for individual accounts. I'll drill into an account in a second. I just want to show you a couple other portfolio views. Sector information.
Hey, Brad?
Yeah.
A couple of messages that people are only able to hear you. I can see your screen. 1 second. Would anyone be able to chat if they're able to see the screen? So some people can see it and some people can't. So there's a little blue icon. If you click on that at the bottom of your at the bottom of so most people can see it. Okay.
I would set. They can maybe relog on if you want.
Yeah.
Wait a second. I can pause.
I think we're going to go ahead and keep going. Sorry for the interruption. I do have it recorded, so if you are missing anything, I can get that out to you.
Okay.
Thanks, Brad.
You bet. We were just going to talk, and you can see sectors. Obviously, drill into those as well. And if you hit next here, you can see a nice opportunity of the top 10 positions across the portfolio. And guys, keep in mind that this is demo data, so don't focus so much on the data. We just threw some data samples in here, but just kind of the power of the visualization. So that gives you a nice opportunity to kind of see what's happening, right, currently, what's going on with the accounts. But we can also drill into individual accounts. We can pick maybe the Roth, we can drill into that. And you're going to see right away that you notice the headlines are appropriate for that account. As you select, you can see some nice trending of information. And everything's interactive for the client. So we're showing that year-to-date trending. In a second, I'm going to show you how we can capture it based on statements or quarters, years, year over year. Allocations, but we're looking at these allocations now from the actual account point of view, as well as the sector information. And then, of course, we get all the way down into the individual holdings. And this is kind of neat because you can drag and drop and really sort this information to focus on what's important to you. Now I'm going to go back all the way up to the front, kind of the portfolio summary view as well. And I'm just going to drill into performance and give you guys a nice idea of what we can do around that as well. As you can see here, a couple additional headlines were turned on for demonstration purposes. You get some nice market value trending. And we can also show those net contributions and withdrawals. And in this situation, we're just showing withdrawals, so we better, we'll get some contributions and gains in there for the next demo. But you'll be able to turn things on, turn things off. And now you can see performance by account. So the beginning value, ending value, contributions, withdrawals, and we're representing that time-weighted return. Remember, we're not calculating anything, so it's going to represent based on the information that you provide us via PowerAdvisor. So if it's an IIR, that would show up as well. Now you're seeing that information, of course, over time. And then we've got some nice allocation trending. Okay, and there's a lot of flexibility as well in the app to show things like objectives or strategies or goals and trend that. So we have just a tremendous amount of flexibility. Now we also have the ability to dynamically generate statements. So this is that opportunity, so you can put as much history as you want in the app. If you click on it, we can give yearly summaries, 3, 5, 10-year type periods of time. We capture it based on quarters, and we can walk you through just kind of what I'll say, a traditional like statement, but the difference is it's dynamically generated, so you guys don't have to generate it. It's all the history is there for your clients, and it's very interactive. Let's take a look at this. We can look and see at the beginning, ending, that rate of return, and you guys can always turn that off too and show a change in value. Flexibility is really up to your firm. Anytime we give you a nice summary, we always give you interactive graphics along with it. Continue to scroll down, and you've got nice activity information. As you can see, there's not a lot of data in here showing those contributions and withdrawals, but if it were there, you'd be able to see it. Continue to scroll down, and we have a nice allocation. If you had models defined, we can show right here where there's compared to the current. You see a couple different bar graphs to show those comparisons. Great account summary information. A nice summary table, an interactive chart or graph, and then of course we get all the way down to the consolidated positions as well as the account positions for each individual account. Now we also have fully integrated within the app is an unlimited document center. This is that opportunity for you guys to share documents with your clients or internally as well. We have an advisor-only section. It's unlimited, supports any file size, any file type. There's your documents, which is a one-to-one relationship, so it's advisor to client, but we do support bulk uploading. So if you have a situation where you want to bulk upload information, we can support that as well. Clients can easily upload information to you guys. As advisors, pick a file, maybe a brief message, hit upload, and you get notified there's a new document in the document center. And yes, you can notify folks as well if you put information to the document center. There's the advisor shared area. So this is uploaded once and anybody can see it. So there's that opportunity as well under the shared documents area. And then there's this opportunity we call advisor shared. Remember, this is client facing. I'm going to come back to this section, but this has to deal with our client review. So we'll talk about that, okay? We also support social attributes. If you guys are using LinkedIn, blogging, web, Twitter, anything like that standpoint, we can pull those rich attributes in as well as our commentary. And I showed commentary kind of up here, but commentary is a way for you guys to actually communicate with your clients in a very safe and compliant or friendly way. I should have put some commentary in here, but basically what commentary is your ability to create information, and your clients can view it under the social or under here. We had a firm-wide level where you can communicate via firm market recap or a change of address or just firm announcements, but you can also do it at an individual or group level as well. So you can have commentary dedicated just to a group or individual. We also support outside links, so if there's ever a situation you guys wanted to put in maybe some outside links to custodians or planning software, we support that as well. Now I'm going to log off and I'm going to log back on here, and I'm going to show you a couple of neat things we do from an administrator point of view. So a couple things I should point out with ModestSpark that I didn't. As far as the document center, if you're logged in as an advisor, you can have internal documents only and share between advisors or firm that the client cannot see. You can have document-only access to the app, as well as if your firm allows it and a client wants a CPA or lawyer to have access to their document center, you can allow that as well. You can always track activity within the app, so you can see what your clients are doing from a firm-wide and individual-wide as well. You control when you register folks, and whether they're registered or not. You have the opportunity to go back to the portal and see that great information. Now, it comes in really handy when clients are registered, because you're looking at that identical information they're looking at. We also wanted to help you out, though, with the client review process. So you're sitting down with the client. We didn't want you to have to pull out stacks of paper. We wanted you to be able to take advantage of the big screen in your office, or if you're at a coffee shop and you're on your tablet, laptop, we wanted you to be able to walk through this information with your clients. Now, keep in mind this information is not client accessible until you allow it to be, and it has to do with that advisor shared area I told you to remember, but we'll come back to that. But from an advisor standpoint, you can adjust the date accordingly. You can change it 8, 10, 15 months since your last review. You can have beginning, ending, change in value, gains, losses. You can have a hard-coded agenda where your firm actually puts an agenda in. They can see it. Now, if you want to edit that agenda, you can edit it on the fly before that client coming in. Or if you don't want that agenda, you can turn it off. The app also is going to support goals. We're not replacing any sort of planning apps, but maybe the more free-form goals where you have the opportunity that maybe your son or daughter's buying a horse, and as an advisor, you want to go ahead and describe that goal, have some discussion around that goal, put that goal in and pull it into the review area. You can do that as well as net worth. We have the opportunity, and I'll show you some of the net worth stuff, and what's coming is balance sheets as well. So you can pull those into the review to have a complete picture. It's a nice portfolio summary you have. You got activity information for the time period you chose. The details are just a click away. Of course, we show those gains over contributions and withdrawals. So you see there's a different clients, so different information flowing through the system. Allocation information. As you can see, maybe not a lot's changed in the allocations, so for this review, we'll just turn it off. Performance information, and we can show kind of what's happening now, 1, 3, 5 years since inception, can all be headlines up here as well. You can associate benchmarks in this area as well, so you can see performance by account. Account information, really at your fingertips, so pretty straightforward. We give you access to all the individual holdings. We don't expect you to go through every single holding, but maybe there's some cash at hand you want to talk about how you might reinvest it. Access right to the document center, so if you need to pull something up, you can pull up the document center. And then, of course, we can capture notes and comments right here. And then if you have disclaimers, they would show up at the bottom as well. Now, at the end of this, if you guys go ahead and save it to the document center, it will save as configured in that advisor shared area, so now your clients have it. But it'll save as you configured it in a snapshot in time. You can also hit Save This Activity Timeline, because we also created this nice one-page visual for you guys about a client. The client calls in unexpectedly, you're on the road, traveling, you need a quick visual, don't have access to the office, so we'll give you a little bit about your client, some portfolio information at a glance. Keep in mind here, you can get right back to the portal information if you want. You have asset allocation information, rate activity information, The ability to generate and capture notes. This is more internal. This is that situation where we do integrate with quite a few CRMs, but if you don't have one, you can just go ahead and add notes here. And we also have the ability to capture reminders. Now, reminders are not for you as a firm, but more for clients, right? Maybe prior to a client coming in, you want to make sure that they bring in their latest insurance documents. You can create a headline that has reminder information. And then what we build out is this nice visual timeline, right? We'll capture starting, contributions, withdrawals. If I would have saved the last review, that would have showed up, test notes. So just a nice visual timeline about your interactions with your clients. Now, a couple other things I'll quickly show you here. We also have this ability to do forecasting. We're not replacing planning tools. We're augmenting those tools. So you can come in and you can add different information around, just creating a quick what-if scenario forecast for the client, however you want to do that. You get details right here, have the ability to integrate with mint.com. You can capture net worth here where clients can add it or advisors. We can create a net worth headline. It will show up in the review. Well, upcoming later this, at the end of this quarter in a couple of weeks is going to be that balance sheet information. So just quite a great opportunity to augment and have great conversations with your clients. Let me think what else. Some other stuff we'll capture is some analytics information, just real simple analytics as well. So I guess what I'll do is there's some other features and functions, but at the same time, just kind of being respectful to the people up here. I think I gave you a nice overview. Adding clients is very easy to do as far as getting clients in the system, and all the administrative stuff is very easy to do as well. But Andrew, let me pause and leave some time for questions, and yeah, we'll go from there.
And I had one question come in about analytics specifically. Just what are some of the things you show?
Sure. Let me capture. So we have some firm analytics here. So we'll show AUM over time here, 12-month allocation information. We can show sectors. We can show managed, unmanaged type stuff. We can get to the holdings, what percentage of the positions and what percentage of their portfolio it is. You'll continue to see analytics grow out, but that's pretty much what we do on a firm-wide analytics, as well as some activity analytics around the use of the app as well.
Gotcha. So I see a couple hands up. Paul, Tanner, your hand's up, so I'm going to unmute you if you want to ask a question.
I'm sorry, that was from...
Oh, okay, that was from earlier. Okay.
No, sorry.
No problem. Does anybody have a question right now? You can either chat it in or put your hand up, and I'll look for it here. Barb, did you have a question? Barb Dean?
Yeah, I did, Andrew. How does the information get to ModestSpark? You said it could be uploaded daily or weekly. What is the recommended? Is daily recommended if you want to have a current status of your clients? Is it a long process to get that data into the other software?
Andrew, I can try to answer that too if you want. It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it's in PowerAdvisor. There's under maintenance and integrations. There's a ModestSpark option, and it exports data, and ModestSpark uses that data to populate this database.
Okay.
Yeah. So what happens?
So if you have
I was going to say, Barbara, it's pretty straightforward. So yeah. I think depending on the more current is, the better use for the advisor and the client. And really all you're doing is taking that export and dropping it into a secure Dropbox and get processed within 10 seconds. So the up care is really easy from that standpoint.
Okay, but if you have a lot of manual accounts that you have that you don't have prices for some of these securities every day, you don't get them in your download, and they have to be manually put in. So they would have to be manually put in every day for that information to be accurate, that the client would see. Or can you block a
maybe
client?
update it once a month, or maybe you wouldn't.
Yeah, that's when I normally do it. Yeah, that's when I normally do it, is once a month.
Well, there's other ways too, Barbara, as well, because you can always disclaimer some of those as well. So depending on what you want to do, you can do it monthly. You have the ability to create disclaimers. You can put it kind of in the commentary, because the reality is that it will just pick up the last price, that you kept in there.
Right.
So it just depends on. I'm sure your clients understand that and identify it. So oftentimes our clients, if they want, to give, if it's a smaller majority, right, of the actual portfolio, oftentimes people will just still upload it daily and just have that disclaimer, right? Because you can put disclaimers throughout the app saying that certain securities are going to be updated monthly because of, and then that way at least, or you can do what Andrew said as well. You can do it monthly. It's really going to determine your cadence.
Okay, thank you.
You bet.
There's a question about annualized returns. Is that one of the metrics you show?
Annualized returns, I'd have to understand that question a little bit better to try to answer.
So
I'm not sure
the returns that you're showing are, from 2001 to today, it's 300%, and the annualized would just kind of be the average of each year for the last 15 years or however many years. It's kind of the concept.
So it's going to be, so these returns here, right, are year to date. So when you first log in, it's going to be year to date or a rolling 12 months, right? So we're looking at it from a year to date perspective, right?
Gotcha.
If you go into the statement area, it's going to be based on the time frame you pick. So if you pick a quarter, it's going to be for that quarter. If you pick a year, it's going to be for that year. If I had enough information in here, you could see 3, 5, 10, or since inception. So you have the flexibility, because remember, we're powering it from whatever you provide us, Andrew. So, so that's how. So there's flexibility. So yeah.
Yeah, and I think we're giving you the total return, so maybe there'd be an option for us to give you an annualized return. So that's something I can look into.
Yep.
Okay. Who else has their hands up? Oh, someone is asking what the process looks like to add a client.
Yeah, that's great. So part of the setup, we're going to take some groupings out of the PowerAdvisor and group everybody. So that's very easy to do and put it together. But let's just show you what it looks like from a net new. So if you're adding a net new client, okay, one of the things you don't change the extract out of, PowerAdvisor, but you do have to quickly household them. So we just have to understand where those accounts go, right? So it's just an ability to do a quick householding action, so we know. So you can upload those, or we can, really take them from PowerAdvisor to get them. So once that, it's kind of how it's set up in PowerAdvisor is pretty easy. We just pull it over, and then you go to registered users, and it's simple as saying, here's a client. You're going to add that client. You're going to have their email address, which is actually their user ID. You're going to have a display name, and then you're going to associate them with whatever ID you just, that household is within PowerAdvisor. So it's pretty straightforward. And then you're going to probably want to add customer since they're new, because that will, the app's smart enough then to recognize not to show a bunch of history to select from. And then you just hit register, and then they get a nice email. And yes, you can edit that email if you'd like, but you'd have to give us what you want. We would put it in there for you. But they get an email with the username and password, and it's a temporary password. They need to change it, and they're off and running. So it's very easy from adding a client's perspective.
Thank you.
You bet.
Okay. I apologize, everyone. I have a cold. My voice is a bit scratchy. What about security? There's a question about that.
You bet. Great question. So we have a bunch of, and actually Andrew will have access to all this information, but the app is hosted. We have a lot of security documentation we'll get in Andrew's hands, but the app is hosted at Amazon AWS. So think about it, it's Amazon, not the retail side, but the actual software side, where they host a lot of software companies. So it's redundant, secure, highly secure data centers. Within Amazon, we have, if you think of Amazon as a giant hotel, we have a room, and within our room we have many rooms that support the individual clients who sign up, so we never commingle your data. It's just an extra layer of security. We never associate any of the information back to a custodian account. Everything is 256 AES military and financially graded encrypted in transit at rest in our data center. We have a data breach as well as E&O insurance as well to even help protect even further. And I can provide you guys with our business continuity plan and the data security policies. But we've been vetted by some of the biggest custodians out there as far as our security. Our app went through a complete intrusion detection and passed with flying colors. Schwab just recently vetted us as well. So very secure. We take that very seriously.
Awesome. There was a question about, so obviously there's a document vault where clients can download reports, but I think this question's asking is some of these dashboard screens, some of these reports that ModestSpark provides, are clients able to download those at all?
Yeah, there's really not a need. I mean, if you think about it, all the information's always at the client's fingerprint, all the history's there. You know, the statements are browser printable as well as the review area are browser printable. So if they wanted to print them and save in PDF, you know, they could just based on doing, you know, kind of a print, you know, save or whatever. But for the most part, if you think about it, everything's always accessible to them and they have it online. So I'm not sure the need for printing, but those two areas are, you know, printable.
Cool. Any other questions? Oh, I've gotten a lot of questions about the pricing. I'll have that more formalized later on this week or next.
Okay. Certainly, if any questions come up, get them to Andrew. We can get them answered. I mean, we're real excited about the partnership here as well as supporting all you guys. So I really appreciated the time to show you ModestSpark and then have this brief demo to walk you through it. Andrew, is there anything else I can do or you need from us? Let me know. But in the meantime, this has been great. And guys, I think you'll enjoy using the app. It's super easy. It's very configurable, and there's always new functionality coming out that's all included in your subscription. Okay?
Thank you, Brad, and thank you everybody for coming. We are gonna, like I said, I did record this, so we're going to have an option for you to download it here shortly.
All right, we'll talk to you later. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.
Have a great day.
Bye.